All right, let's get after it. So I start off with the first problem. It's only worth 2 points, which is kind of weird because they're usually worth 3. But it's pretty straightforward. It just wants us to check how many times the letters change. So I start by making them all lowercase because that's one of the conditions. And then I just want to make a for loop that starts at 1 instead of 0 so that I can check the first element or the previous element when I go through it. And this question is one of the easier easies that I've ever seen, and I got it done in less than 2 minutes, which is, I think, a personal best for me. And you'll see at the end that it's pretty much as fast as anybody on the leaderboard, so I was pretty happy with this one. But of course, we're past the point of easies. I moved on to the second question, and at first glance, I really didn't think I was going to solve this one. We're given an array of positive integers nums, and we want to find this subset that satisfies this pattern where the numbers increase up to this x to the power of k, and then decrease back down to the original x, which is the original number. So at first glance, like I said, I had no idea how to solve this problem, or just kind of any approach that would work in any sort of, like just forgetting time complexity. Like I had no idea how a person could solve this problem. So to just kind of get something going, I end up sorting it, which doesn't really do anything, I don't think. I think my logic was these smaller numbers are going to be better candidates for fitting the pattern because we're going to need higher numbers later. Anyway, it doesn't really matter if you sort or not. But eventually I do get one important idea in my head, which is that we need these numbers to appear twice, and only twice. So if you look at the examples it gives, every number except for the middle one appears twice. So that does simplify things for us. We don't really care if numbers appear, more than 2 times, but appearing 2 times is significant. So I start with a dictionary of just keeping track of all the numbers I've seen and how many times I see them. I guess this is just a counter, but I don't use counter much in Python, to be honest, so I just usually end up making a dictionary like this one. And then I think this works pretty well, which is by getting the keys in the dictionary, we end up getting just the distinct numbers in the list. Since finding a number twice won't add an extra key to the dictionary, we're going to cut down on any copies of numbers, and we'll just be able to loop through each number individually. So the basic approach I came up with was to check every distinct number. I used the keys in the dictionary for this, and then see if that number fit the pattern by searching the other numbers in the array. So that's what the while loop is for inside of the for loop. The real trick with this problem is the 1 is an edge case. I also just kind of misread the second test case they give us. They point out explicitly that 2 and 3 and 4 by themselves are valid answers. So pretty much if the list isn't null, you're going to get at least an answer of 1. But what's more important is that for the number 1, it's going to be, you can make the pattern over and over again with 1, because 1 squared is still 1, and 1 to the 4th, and 1 to the 6th, and whatever. But even that, there's a little trick there, which is it needs to be odd numbers of 1. Because remember, the pattern it's like kind of like a mountain, right? You're going up to x to the k, and then back down to just x. So in this case, x is 1, and you're going up to 1 to the, whatever power. It's still going to be 1, and you're going back down. But you can only have even numbers of 1s plus that 1 in the middle. So there's that little edge case within the edge case. So after dinking around with it and failing a total of 5 times, I did finally get this problem, which I'm actually pretty happy with, just considering that I really didn't know what was going on at the beginning, and I didn't think I was going to be able to solve it. I think a few weeks ago, I definitely wouldn't have solved this problem. I'm starting to realize that you kind of just have to work with it long enough to get a key insight. I think in this case, the key insight was, the numbers only need to appear twice. I just kind of got bogged down with trying to figure out the entire list. But when you realize that it doesn't matter how many times a number appears, as long as it appears twice, that's significant. That's all you're looking for, really. That kind of helps you work through it. As for time and space complexity, I really don't know. I mean, I thought it was exponential, but kind of in practice, it turns out to be, less so. I mean, if the whole list is just already distinct numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to infinity, or let's say to 10,000, then it's just going to be, O of 10,000, because you're not going to use that inner while loop at all, or it's it's going to be very short. Using the dictionary is obviously O of n space, but let's think of like a test case where it's like, you know, like a bunch of ones, for instance, or something a little more nuanced, like 2s and 4s and whatnot. I think still, just since that for loop is only checking, you know, distinct numbers, just in practice it ends up being, you know, much faster than O of n squared. So maybe comment down below what you think the time complexity is. But anyway, we ended up getting 6 points total in this contest, which was good for 7,584th place. Not the best I've ever placed, but certainly not the worst either. And like I kind of suspected, a lot of people got wrong attempts on that second problem. So in terms of how we finished in the contest, we finished with 6 points for getting Q1 and Q2. Like I said earlier, we finished Q1 in less than 2 minutes, which, I mean, look at this. We did even better than the first place guy, so not too shabby at all. Q1 definitely isn't what's holding us back from a high placement in these contests. But a lot of people messed up on question 2 like I did. I think it's just that the number 1 being the edge case there was what tricked people up, I'd imagine. And we finished it in about 30 minutes. And then when you add in all the wrong answers, my time went up a lot. So, you know, I'll take 7th place, you know, 7,000, whatever. So we're going to run it back next week. We're going to aim for 3 questions, which I've never done before. I hope to see you guys there. Thanks for watching.